Alright class, welcome. This is the collapsible chair project. To start, you're going to need to get a nice piece of material that is the appropriate length and width to fit all four of your pieces that create the back of the chair and the seat of the chair. This does not include the slats. You'll see here it's approximately 30 inches long, 7 3/4 wide. Should get you what you need. First thing you're going to do after that, get started on the bandsaw. Here you're going to set it to 1 3/4, and at that stage lock down the fence and start to cut your material. Sometimes you might need to adjust those blocks to get you going. There you go, all four pieces.
Alright, as you can tell, all of these are still pretty rough. Alright, so we're going to run these through the planer and get them all to the exact same dimension.
First thing you're going to want to do is plane these to width. That will allow for you to draw your template on there. Notice I'm checking the template and seeing if it's the right width first, and then after you do the width, you can get them to thickness. We want to go for about 1 1/4. After you're done with that, you can go ahead and mark them all so that you can go to the bandsaw and cut them.
Alright folks, once you got those rough lengths created and you've planed them to size, which this should match the template, and this thickness we're going for about 1 1/4. You might have seen on mine I had this spot that's just barely gone now. I'll sand the rest. I just wanted to go a little further, so mine are more like 1 3/16, but it should be just fine. So you'll have those planed down in both directions. Everything should be equal. You'll have traced your templates, and now it's time to go to get your rough cuts on the bandsaw. Make sure when you do the bandsaw, you raise the guard just enough for your piece to get under, but not too much to where your finger will get cut off if you slip.
Remember as you're cutting to always leave the line, and so that you can sand to the line afterwards. Notice I'm taking multiple cuts at it. Don't try and do it all in one fell swoop. That blade will not bend all the way around some of those.
Alright, there you see it. Here we have our rough cuts now. Oh, actually forgot to do that one, so I'll be going back for that. Got everything else pretty much. Notice there's still pencil line everywhere. We'll just sand down to that. Alright, that's our next step. Alright folks, we're going to show you how to utilize the edge sander, twist this a little bit, to take care of these issues right here, right? So we still have a line to get to. Now the trick of this is you always want to have the direction of the sandpaper going on the edge grain if possible. That means that this move right here is safe. But if you were to go like this and stick it in like here, that is not as safe, and it can rip the sandpaper very easily. So that's very critical. Remember that you always have the sandpaper pulling against the edge grain, not going into the end grain, otherwise you can wreck the sandpaper. You might hear it already, but the vacuum is on. You need to pull up on this here to get the suction, okay? And then you can begin. I want you to watch how I do it. I'm going to do it slow first, and then I'm going to go faster. Okay, as you can see, this side is pretty good. This side still needs some sanding, but that's going to require us to flip it over so that we have that correct direction. So what we're going to do, instead of flipping it over right away, I'm going to do the other side. So we did this side, we're going flip it over, do the other side here, and then we'll flip the whole thing over and retrace our template on here so we can do the opposite end. All right, here we go. I hope you noticed while I was doing these things that the rotation happened. I would slowly rotate as it went so that it was even. If you just try and do little sections and then move it, it's going to turn more hexagonal or pentagonal, but this makes it nice and smooth. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this back down, line it up with the smooth side over here, smooth side over here, and just draw a nice line. And you see there's not much to take off. Then we'll flip it over. The same thing over here. We have our smooth side. Line it up. And again, not much to take off. So this is what we're going to do for all 4 of our pieces. We're going to get them nice and smooth, round it over, try and make them as equal as possible. Here we go.
As you are working with these pieces, you will want to, once in a while, stop and put one on top of the other, the one that you've finished on top of the one that you haven't, to check and see if they look the same. Here you see me tracing, getting a line in order that I can go right to that line and make them more equal. Now for the sections that have the flat area, I would recommend that, yes, you want to hold it there, but kind of put different pressure. Just kind of push a little and then release pressure, push a little and then release pressure so that the sandpaper does not get gunked up too quickly.
Alright folks, now we're going to start working on the seat slats and the back slats. And we are going to use some of the same material. And since the seat slats and back slats are both 14 inches, I'm going to double that and add an inch so that I can get enough out of what I have here. So that'll be 29. Make a mark there. If you guys want to, you can hit the button on the back to get the laser on. And I've got it clamped down over on this side. You can see the clamp here. I'm going to have 2 hands on the top of the machine. Let's give you a better view of that. 2 hands on the top of the machine, slowly working my way through. Measures 29 inches length. Now what we're going to do is start cutting the rough width on all the seat slats. Okay? In case you didn't get that on your cut list already, seat slats we're going to go to about 1 3/4, maybe a little bigger. So we're going to mill it. We're going to start at 1 7/8. Okay? Then we'll cut it on the bandsaw. After we're done with the bandsaw, we will plane it, and then Mr. Coop will rip these in half for you so that they're going to be a thinner profile, but same style wood. Alright, let's go to the bandsaw. And repeat. If you're doing the chair with leather on it, you won't have to do as many. I'm going to go and run, I need a total of 5 to get everything for one that does not have leather. But here I now have my 5 pieces. We're going to take them to the planer and clean up all these bandsaw marks and get it down to exactly 1 3/4. Then after you do that, you can take it to Mr. Coop and he'll rip these in half for you.